High Parliament is which ministry has authority over the KCCA, since no minister has presented a policy statement to Parliament as a mother ministry of the authority. This committee is, however, happy with the ongoing efforts by the authority to recover all council property taken illegally. The committee had summoned Minister Kawakumba Masiko, that's the Minister of the Presidency, and the Coordinator of Intelligence Services to handle the controversy surrounding the KCCA house at Ochola, which is now being occupied by General Tinkasiimire. However, that we did not turn up for the meeting today. So tonight, we want to establish what parliamentarians think about the state of affairs at KCCA, and if at all they believe that under the current arrangement, Kampala will be transformed as envisaged by the KCCA. After our guests tonight, we have Honorable Stephen Ochola, Shadow Minister in charge of Special Regions. You most welcome, Honorable Ochola.
Thank you very much, moderator. I want to thank Radio 1 for inviting me here. It's my first time to be in the studios, and I hope I will discuss and share with the listeners outside there matters pertaining KCCA and City Council is the heartbeat of Uganda.
That's very true.
For that matter, we all have a stake.
That's true. We also expect to be joined by Honorable Barnabas Tinkasiimire, who is the chairman of the Presidential Affairs Committee. Honorable Ochola, let's look at KCCA 4 months down the road. A lot has been happening on the good side, but also on the negative side. From your perspective as a legislator, especially as Guinea Side of these special regions, Teso, Bunyoro, Karamoja, and now Kampala, how do you rate KCCA's performance over the last 4 months?
First of all, I think to me, KCCA would have performed better than what achieved. Except I think there are some few controversies which we feel as a committee and me as a member of parliament we feel should be ironed out. And also as the shadow minister for Kampala. My background is that I've been the chairman of the ministry. And when I heard everybody saying, the Kampala Capital City Act has removed the powers from the Lord Mayor. And I was asking myself, why then are we having the elected leaders in KCCA at all if they don't have the power? Because I know the power for any leadership is derived from the people. And that's what our constitution tells us. First thing the constitution says that. Now, the Lord Mayor definitely went for a campaign. He had a manifesto. And he promised to deliver to the people of Kampala. And today I hear people saying he doesn't have the power. And yet, when I look at the act, the composition of the authority is very clear. It says first it's the Lord Mayor, the Deputy Lord Mayor, and then we have the councillors who are elected, and then other representatives of other institutions, and doesn't talk about the executive director as a member of the KCCA. Yes. Now, and it goes ahead. That's section 6 of the act. In section 7 of the act, it gives us the functions of the authority and what's the authority. The authority is the Lord Mayor, the Deputy Lord Mayor, and the councillors, and that's the composition of the authority. Now, the act in section 7 gives us the functions of the authority and says one to initiate and formulate policy, to set service delivery standards. Service delivery standards, to determine taxation levels, to monitor the general administration and provision of services in the division, and many, many others. Construction and maintain roads, construct and maintain major trades, install and maintain street lights, organize and manage traffic. That is the work of the authority. Yes. And that authority, those are the functions of the authority, and are stipulated clearly here by the act. But the act goes ahead to give us the executive director in section 17 of the Act. And here it says the executive director. There shall be an executive director who shall be the chief executive of the authority. The chief executive of the authority. And it goes ahead to say the executive director shall be appointed by the president on the advice of the Public Service Commission. Okay? And then gives you the qualification. The person shall qualify to be appointed executive director if he or she is of high moral character and proven integrity, and is qualified to be appointed a permanent secretary in a government ministry. And when I read this, then I ask myself, why should we have even these controversies? Because I expect if the executive director is really a person of high,
qualified to be a PS.
Yes, high moral character.
Yes.
She should analyze this. Because why should they have these controversies? The Lord Mayor is the political head. That's what this act says. He is the political head of Kampala City Authority. You would say he is the president of Kampala. Simple. We are trying to, by the time people brought this law, I think I want to say that one, I think the ruling government by then, which is still the ruling government, was scared because they kept on losing Kampala to the opposition. And I think this time they were thinking of how do we trim the powers of opposition if in case they take Kampala City again. But unfortunately, I think there was no way they could dodge it, but they had to give back the powers to the land. To me, I have been a chairman of a district, and I want to say that even when I was a chairman, the overall person then who will oversee is definitely the Minister of Local Government.
Yes.
Okay? He oversees all the local governments.
True.
And for the case of Kampala City Authority, it's now the minister in charge of Kampala. Who to me, who has not yet been appointed, but they claim that the president says he has given to the minister for presidency. But to me, I want to take that to interpret that minister is just like acts like the minister of local government could act in as far as the running of the districts is concerned, because there are roads which the central government definitely funds and other things like schools, in education, all departments, the local governments get money from the central government.
Right.
Okay, but and likewise even here. And to me, when I look at the functions of the executive director, to be the head of public service in the authority and to head the administration of the authority, okay, including division and wards.
Yes.
That's just like the work of the chief administrative officer.
Yes.
So the executive director is the accounting officer, okay, of the authority, responsible for the management of all public funds of the authority and accountable to Parliament. Right. Just like the chief administrative officers also do. And the act has gone ahead to give us what the executive director performs in the authority. Now, I don't see in the act where it says that the executive director becomes the head of Kampala State Authority.
Right.
It's not there. The political head remains the Lord Mayor, and his duties as